We're following several breaking news stories now at 5. Brothel bust. Hundreds of men stopping for minutes at a time, the evidence found in the trash, and the victim who escaped and spilled the beans.
How could he? A father confesses to murdering his pregnant wife and 2 young daughters. What police are now saying about finding their bodies.
The world remembers the life and legacy of the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, dead at 76. A look back at her incredible career and the tributes to her tonight. The news starts now.
CBS 12 News starts now with breaking news.
Breaking news at 5. A fight takes a fatal turn. A man is dead after authorities say he was stabbed while arguing with a woman in their home near West Palm Beach, right in the middle of the day. Right now, sheriff's investigators will say that they are talking with that woman about her possible role in all of this.
CBS 12's Chuck Weber live now near the apartment complex where everything happened today. And the question now is, Chuck, what do we know so far?
Yeah, you're right, Paul. Right behind me here, this is the apartment complex, Alta Villa Gardens, just off Haverhill Road, just south of Okeechobee Boulevard. All day long here, neighbors, including school children, have been coming home to a very active crime scene. This happened late morning. That's when deputies arrived here to find the man already dead. They have been investigating ever since and talking to the woman about her possible role in the stabbing. Now, this again is just south of Okeechobee off Haverhill. Detectives say they were told that the man was stabbed after a domestic incident between the man and woman. I spoke with neighbors who tell me they are very upset about all this. One woman I spoke with knows the woman involved. Again, the last report we got, the detectives are interviewing that woman who was involved in this domestic incident with the man. The man found dead here late morning. Still a lot of information to come from this, and as soon as we get more information, we will bring it to you. We're live near West Palm Beach. Chuck Weber, CBS 12 News.
And of course, we will continue to track this breaking news both on air and online at cbs12.com.
Right now, brothel busts right in the middle of local family neighborhoods. The reported boss of a prostitution ring in West Palm Beach is behind bars today after a 10-month-long investigation by police. Police say that head honcho, Domingo Diaz, recruited women from different countries to the United States to be prostitutes and would then threaten to kill their families if they didn't come. CBS 12's Maxine Benzel is investigating. She joins us live tonight outside one of several brothels busted by police on Miller Avenue in West Palm Beach with the disturbing evidence that led to his arrest. Maxine.
Well, as you said, Liz, this is just one of several homes that Diaz was prostitute women out of. One of them just 16 years old. Now, a neighbor right next to this home told us she always knew something suspicious was going on.
Doesn't surprise me.
It came as no surprise to one neighbor along Miller Avenue that police busted this home after they discovered it was being run as a brothel.
I would see a lot of different cars constantly coming and going.
According to police, their investigation started last October after a victim called them from the Dominican Republic to give them information about human trafficking in West Palm Beach. The victim told police she escaped, but that one man recruits women from different countries and brings them to the United States and threatens to kill their family if they don't come. She said one of the women was just a girl, only 16 years old. Police took the information and conducted several surveillance operations at 4 homes in West Palm Beach. At a home on Belvedere Road, they observed 125 potential Johns entering the back door of the home, staying for about 20 minutes and leaving. On Miller Avenue, they found a similar situation. The neighbor we spoke with told us they often saw strange men outside.
I saw a man always, like intermittently outside smoking a cigarette in his driveway when the cars would come. A lot of times men seemed really drunk and wobbling over to the car.
Outside the homes, police found bags filled with nearly 200 used condoms and dirty paper towels. Police found Domingo Diaz to be the operation's ringleader and arrested him this week.
3 other men in connection to this prostitution ring were also arrested in May, and police say more arrests could be coming. Diaz remains in the Palm Beach County Jail tonight. Reporting live in West Palm Beach, Maxine Benzel, CBS 12 News.
Florida ranks third in the nation for calls to the human trafficking hotline. Investigators looked into 57 cases in Palm Beach County. Just last year, authorities recovered 48 victims, including 14 under the age of 18.
Breaking news right now. After days of silence, the Vatican is responding to the report from a Pennsylvania grand jury accusing more than 300 priests of sexual abuse. The Vatican late this afternoon saying it condemns sex abuse described in that Pennsylvania grand jury report, also saying that Pope Francis is on the victims' sides. This as we learn new details tonight about one of the priests accused of abuse in that report who lives in Boca Raton. You just saw the photo of retired priest Thomas Benestad. It's from a Pennsylvania church's historical website. According to that scathing grand jury report, a 9-year-old victim telling investigators that while in Pennsylvania, Benestad would use holy water to rinse out the boy's mouth after sexually abusing him. He said that alleged abuse took place back in the 80s. He's now retired and in Florida. His lawyers told the grand jury he has never done anything inappropriate with anyone. And tonight, for the first time, we're hearing from the Diocese of Palm Beach about Father Benestad. CBS 12's Michael Butchner live tonight in Palm Beach Gardens. He's investigating this story as well. Michael?
Yeah, the diocese here said they did vetting of this priest. In fact, they say they reached out to officials in Pennsylvania, the diocese that he was a part of there in Allentown, and they say they never received any red flags.
For a second day, we went back to the Boca Raton address for Thomas Benestad, and again, no answer at the door. Now, days after a grand jury report named him in a list of 301 so-called predator priests, we've learned the diocese in Allentown, Pennsylvania, told the Palm Beach Diocese in 2007 that Benestad was in good standing. But the grand jury report shows Benestad, seen here in a church's website, was reassigned as a pastor and took a leave of absence before moving to Boca Raton more than 10 years ago. That report indicates he spent time here at Ascension Catholic Church. We went to the church today, but the door was locked and no one answered. The Palm Beach Diocese claims the diocese in Pennsylvania not once, but twice sent a certificate of aptitude for Benestad, indicating several things, including that he had never been suspended or disciplined, never had criminal charges brought against him, and never showed behavioral problems that would indicate he might deal with minors or adults in an inappropriate manner. 4 years later, in 2011, when allegations of sexual abuse surfaced, the Palm Beach Diocese says Benestad was immediately ordered by both dioceses to refrain from all public ministry, including wearing a clerical collar.
We can tell you here the diocese tells us that Benestad has not functioned as a priest in any parish since 2011. Coming up on CBS 12 News at 6, the efforts the diocese has taken here to review any and all allegations. We'll see you then. For now, we're live in Palm Beach Gardens. Michael Butchner, CBS 12 News.
An update now to a story we first told you about on CBS 12 News. Port St. Lucie police say it was all a misunderstanding. They sent us this video of a driver in a white van and told us he may have tried to lure in a 9-year-old boy as he was walking to the bus stop. Turns out that driver came forward, and after a thorough investigation, police determined he is not a threat.
Tracking the tropics this afternoon, a tropical storm with a chance of development, I should say a tropical wave. So let's go ahead and get right to severe weather expert Jeff Berardelli with this potential threat. Hey, Jeff.
Yeah, so we're tracking a tropical wave. This is not unexpected this time of year. Of course, it's the middle of August. This is typically when the action really starts to invigorate, if you will. But it's located just to the east of the Leeward Islands in a place that we would expect it to be. But the chance that it develops is only 20%. As you can see, it's fairly disorganized, but it does have a lot of showers and storms. And there is some chance as it gets into the eastern Caribbean that it could pick up steam and become a bona fide tropical depression or tropical storm. We'll keep you updated on that. That is Ernesto. It's a subtropical storm. It's in the North Atlantic with winds of 45 miles an hour. It's going to stay in the North Atlantic, and believe it or not, it is headed towards Ireland and Scotland. And would you believe it's ingested a bunch of the smoke from the California wildfires? So it's going to be carrying smoke from the Atlantic Ocean all the way from California right into the UK. Locally, it's dry right now, but a lot of moisture will be on its way in as we head towards the weekend. We'll talk about that in minutes.
Tributes continue to pour in for the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. The music legend passed away from pancreatic cancer at the age of 76 this morning at her Detroit home with her family by her side. Fans have been leaving flowers at her Hollywood star on Hollywood's Walk of Fame. The news of her death comes 3 days after it was revealed that Franklin was in hospice care. Across more than 5 decades, Franklin's voice belted out songs of change, joy, and pain. Here's a look at her incredible legacy. The Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, certainly garnered respect on and off stage. Born Aretha Louise Franklin in Memphis, Tennessee, the 4-octave range vocalist began singing at her father's church in Detroit. The incomparable songstress often credited him for nurturing her burgeoning talent.
Very early on, he taught me a number of things having to do with timing and phrasing and different things like that, and coaching me in different ways. He did say at one point that one day I would sing for kings and queens. He did say that. And I have.
Franklin won her first of many Grammys in 1967 for Best Rhythm and Blues Solo Vocal Performance for Respect.
It was a civil rights mantra. I perfectly thought it applied well. Everybody wants respect. Who doesn't want respect?
Throughout her incredible career, she also took home awards for hits like Chain of Fools and Freeway of Love. Franklin was also ahead of her time with a string of firsts. In 1987, she was the first woman to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and 7 years later became the youngest recipient of a Kennedy Center honor.
Some of the things that have happened are unbelievable. Who would have thought it? Right. But nevertheless, it did happen. God is good.
With her voice and her formidable achievements in music and film, such as the Blues Brothers, Aretha is often considered to be one of the greatest singers of all time. However, the woman who sang for kings and queens reveled in being good at the most important job in the world.
I've been a wonderful and a very good mother, and am a very good mother. That's what I am most proud of first.
A loving mother, a decorated diva, Franklin was most of all grateful for her music, her longevity, and her audiences throughout her career.
It's the love of the music, loyal fans.
Here are some things you may not have known about the Queen of Soul. She taught herself how to play piano. She learned without knowing how to read music. She earned 44 Grammy nominations and won 18. She released the highly popular songs Respect, along with Natural Woman, in the same year, 1967.
A woman and a baby are recovering this afternoon after crashing into a ditch along Glades Cutoff in Fort Pierce. Here's a picture from the scene. All of this happening this morning. Hazmat crews also cleared a fuel leak that spilled into the water. No word right now on what caused that crash. Also right now, jury deliberations underway in the trial against President Trump's former campaign manager, Paul Manafort. Now the jury considering 18 charges against him, including tax evasion and bank fraud. Attorneys for Manafort have blamed his financial failings on his partner. If convicted, Manafort could have the maximum sentence, and that would be life behind bars.
When a woman and her children were reported missing in Colorado, her husband made an emotional appeal for their safe return. One day later, he's in jail facing murder charges.
And a story of survival, a child trapped in a landslide, and the amazing things happening later.
And neighborhoods getting the upper hand on criminals. How a tiny crime-fighting tool is helping families in one local neighborhood remain safe at a fraction of the cost of security cameras. 3 seconds of video, that's all it took to crack the 2016 murder case of Treasure Coast mother Tricia Todd. That 3 seconds showed Todd's killer, her ex-husband, walking in the area when he told the police he was nowhere near there. That video from someone's business surveillance camera helped bring 2 local sheriffs together on a new collaboration, making our families a little bit safer tonight.
CBS 12's Treasure Coast reporter Erin McPherson is live to show us now how all this works. Erin?
Well, they partnered partnered with a company called Ring. It's a home or business surveillance system, and they actually have an app that you can download directly to your phone called the Neighbor app, and you get alerts about what's going on. You don't even have to have the actual system in your home to get those alerts from neighbors and even the sheriff's office. A doorbell that records your every move. You don't even have to press the button for it to activate. It has a motion sensor.
It's nice to be able to see if it's somebody that we know versus somebody that we don't know.
Michelle Jacobs lives in Stewart. Her family got a Ring doorbell after a string of burglaries in her neighborhood earlier this year.
And the cops were like, does anybody have cameras that could maybe turn over the footage?
She says her neighbor did, and that's how the guy was caught. So her and her husband decided to get their own.
Since, we have 2 little boys, it makes sense for our own peace of mind just to know who's coming and going around our home.
And it's not just a doorbell. This family also has cameras surrounding their home, like this one, looking out front. The St. Lucie County and Martin County sheriffs say surveillance video has helped them solve countless cases. And the more out there, the safer the community.
If you stand shoulder to shoulder with us and you tell us what you see or what you hear or share video clips with us, we can make your neighborhood safer.
For Michelle, she says the peace of mind is worth every penny for the cost of the cameras.
It's very, very comforting, and it's good to know that it records everything so that if we do have an incident, we have the video that we can show to the police or whomever to say, this is who you need to look for.
The partnership with Ring is part of their iWatch program, but both sheriffs say you don't have to have this particular device. Any type of video surveillance helps out with cases. Reporting live, Aaron McPherson, CBS 12 News.
All right, Aaron, caught on camera this afternoon, a tense landslide rescue operation in China with a miraculous ending. A 3-year-old toddler crawled out of the rubble. Amazingly, look at this, uninjured after officers and the villagers who lived there worked tirelessly to free him. That landslide happened near a church in southeast China. Now, after a very tearful reunion, the boy was checked out by medical workers. Again, amazingly, he had no serious injuries, but was sent to the hospital merely as a precaution.
Wow, what a miracle. All right, well, we are definitely well into this dry, hot pattern.
Yeah.
We are in it.
That is for sure, and we'll be in it for one more day, and then things kind of switch.
Change. It's Florida.
I'm going to start with something different.
Oh,
I'm going to be doing some breakdancing for everybody.
Oh, I want to see that. I want to see that.
Take a look at this. This is really cool. So that's Ernesto. Guys, look very closely. You see that shade of brown on the northeast side of Ernesto? Yeah. That is the smoke from California fires carried across the Atlantic Ocean. And that smoke, believe it or not, and dust is going to be headed towards Ireland and Scotland over the next couple of days. We zoom in, you can clearly see that what happens in Vegas, or in this case California, doesn't stay in Vegas, or in this case California. It gets carried across the Atlantic and it's headed towards Europe as we speak. Can you believe that? All right, looking at the state of Florida right now, it is dry. There are a couple of showers offshore in the Bahamas, but generally there's lots of dry air there. However, our next weather maker for the weekend is moisture gathering to the south of this area, high pressure. High pressure is not planning on moving, so it will usher this moisture in on Saturday and Sunday. It's not going to be a washout. We're just going to see hit and miss showers and thunderstorms. A few of them on Saturday and a better chance of that on Sunday. Looking outside right now in downtown West Palm Beach, there are a couple of clouds, but overall, lots of sun. And because of that sun, boy, is it hot. The feels like temperature is sweltering. Right now in the acreage, it feels like 109. It feels like 100 on the nose in Vero Beach. 100 degrees is also the feels like temperature in Boca. And there are not many showers. A couple of showers and thunderstorms over inland parts of Okeechobee County. A couple other showers offshore, not really making much of an inroad towards the coast right now. So I think we're going to see a mainly dry evening, although you may have to dodge one shower somewhere along our coast. Shouldn't be much, though. Mainly dry overnight tonight with mostly clear skies. Tomorrow morning, there will be a couple of showers along the immediate coast in the morning, but overall rain chances 10 to 20%. That is it. Dry air is in charge during the day tomorrow, but it will not stay in charge as we head into Saturday. See the moisture gathering out there? Starting to move onshore Saturday morning. Now notice it's not a stormy day all day on Saturday, but we will see our fair share of scattered showers and storms, rain chances running at about 50%. High temperatures tomorrow, 90 in Delray, about 93 in Wellington, about 91 for you in Palm Beach Gardens, and on the Treasure Coast, about 92 degrees in Fort Pierce. So here's the drier air moving in. It's on top of us tomorrow, lots of sun. But here comes the moist pocket. Unfortunately, that's on top of us. Bad timing as we head to Saturday and Sunday. So more clouds, but some breaks as well. Rain chances Saturday 50%, 60% as we head on into Sunday. Then Monday, the dry area does return. So here's your weekend breakdown. Saturday, more clouds, some passing showers, 89. Sunday, clouds and sun storms are likely with high temperatures right around 89 degrees. So we are looking at some nice weather as we head through the weekend, but definitely some changes with a better chance of showers and thunderstorms. And that's a look at your weather forecast, guys.
All right, Jeff, another airline banning pets, the animals that will no longer be allowed on Southwest Airlines.
Plus, a warning about a possible social media scam making the rounds, one elderly woman's warning, and the red flags to look out for.
Do you want your dishwasher to last longer? The one simple do-it-yourself step for cleaner dishes and a better performing machine.
Treasure and Space Coast radio stations, proud partners of the CBS 12 News Network, the one to turn to.
Welcome back. Consumer Reports expert testing helps you find the best performing dishwashers, but you also want to watch that dishwasher list and compare it to last year.
CBS 12 News anchor Terry Hornstein has the secrets to getting your dishes sparkling clean for years to come in tonight's Consumer Report.
There are many factors that can affect the life of your dishwasher, but there's also a lot of things you can do to keep them running longer. The good news is these things are really easy to do, and I'm going to show you how.
First, only put items in the dishwasher that are supposed to go in the dishwasher.
You might think it's simple and want to put that glass jar with the label on into your dishwasher to clean, but the label can come off and either clog the filter or jam the pump.
Keep strong chemicals like bleach and degreasing agents out of the dishwasher too. And show your dishwasher some TLC with regular cleanings.
If you have a manual filter on your dishwasher, you should regularly take it out and rinse out any food or debris caught in it. You can also wipe down the space between the door and the gasket.
Finally, a performance tip that might sound weird and counterintuitive, but stop rinsing your dishes. Just scrape.
Today's dishwashers have soil sensors. If you load your dishes and there's no detectable soil or debris, your dishwasher might set itself to a lighter setting and it won't wash your dishes as well.
Consumer Reports surveyed people about 75,000 dishwashers they purchased in the last decade. Bosch and Thermador received the highest ratings for reliability and owner satisfaction. In the studio, Terry Hornstein, CBS 12 News.
The search for two little girls has come to an end in Colorado after their own father, police say, confesses to killing his own family. We're following the latest as the father appears before a judge.
And dry air has moved in. You can see it right there, but right behind it, lots of moisture. What does this mean as we head into the weekend? We'll talk about it coming up.
And it is a big deal, and we need to stop this.
A father who lost his daughter in the Parkland massacre demanding action to stop 3D printed guns, the steps he's taking, and why time may be running out.
CBS 12 News starts now with breaking news.
Now at 5:30, a deadly stabbing near West Palm Beach. Police say a man is dead after a fight involving a woman. It happened near the 1900 block of North Haverhill Road. Right now, detectives are questioning that woman. We are monitoring the very latest, both on air and online at CBS12.com. Aretha Franklin's career spanned more than 65 years, and today countless tributes poured in to honor the undisputed Queen of Soul. They were from fellow legends, including Carole King, Diana Ross, and Barbra Streisand, who wrote, quote, "It's difficult to conceive a world without her." Even Paul McCartney called her an inspiration and said her greatness will live on in our memories.
A great-grandmother loved by so many, telling CBS 12 News she almost lost thousands of dollars online. And that's why tonight she and her son want to warn others to be careful about this.
CBS 12's Al Peffley joins us live in Palm Beach County to show us what happened. Al?
Liz, you have to be very careful if you go online and purchase something with a credit card. One Lake Worth great-grandmother learned that lesson the hard way.
I say, oh my God, it's terrible.
For 85-year-old Maria Pinedo of Lake Worth, every dollar counts. So when she almost lost thousands, she got mad, and so did her family.
I was upset that somebody's trying to take advantage of my mom.
Her son, Carlos Pinedo, says his mother nearly lost $7,000 shopping online.
There was an advertisement for a massage chair, and she had been looking at this to get one for a while.
Maria saw an ad on Facebook for an electric massage chair at what she thought was a bargain price. So she clicked on it and says it directed her to a website where she put in her name and credit card number and the security code on the back of the card. She figured she had purchased the chair, but the next morning she got a call from Citibank saying someone in London at a high-end jewelry store was trying to make a $7,000 purchase with her credit card. She assured them she was in Lake Worth, not London. Fortunately, the credit card purchase was not approved and Maria did not lose any money.
These people get a hold of all your personal information and they can just go to town with it and purchase whatever they want. If it sounds that good, I would think twice before putting my personal information into a website.
And we reached out to Facebook several hours ago seeking a response for this story. So far, they have not gotten back to us. We also just interviewed the Better Business Bureau. Their advice on how to protect yourself is all new, coming up tonight at 6. Live in West Palm Beach, Al Peffley, CBS 12 News.
Tracking the tropics tonight, a tropical wave with a chance of development. So let's go ahead and get right to severe weather expert Jeff Berardelli with the potential we're seeing here. Jeff?
Yep, so this is the time of year we expect to see things to start developing and getting stronger and more numerous waves start to take on that tropical depression or tropical storm designation. However, this one probably is not going to get there. There is a 20% chance of development, but very disorganized thunderstorm activity, as you can see. And this is headed through the Leeward Islands. And once it gets into the Eastern Caribbean, there's a chance that it will form, but the chances aren't necessarily all that great, but there's a chance. Also, we have Ernesto. It's a subtropical system, and it's headed in the other direction away from us. Winds right now 45 miles an hour, and it is heading in the general direction of Ireland and Scotland. So if you're traveling to Ireland or Scotland, it's going to be quite stormy as we head into the weekend. Now, back to that disturbance with the 20% chance of development. Most of the models kind of end its life here in the Eastern Caribbean and don't really develop it very much, but there is some chance. And obviously, since it's moving in the general direction of the islands here around Haiti and the Dominican Republic, it is something that we want to watch. What about our local forecast? Dry right now. It's not going to stay that way. I'll have the forecast for the weekend in minutes.
Breaking news now. The bodies of the pregnant mother and her 2 young daughters reported missing in Frederick, Colorado, have been found. They were reported missing Monday. Her husband, Christopher Watts, allegedly admitting to killing her and his 3- and 4-year-old daughters.
I just want them back. I just want them to come back. And if they're not safe right now, that's what's tearing me apart.
That interview before his confession and arrest. Police say they found the bodies on Anadarko Petroleum property where Watts used to work. The FBI is also investigating this case. 1 month. That's how long the parents of a missing Iowa student have not seen their daughter. Investigators now focused on 5 areas in their search for Molly Tibbetts. Crime Stoppers of Central Iowa says a reward fund is growing and stands around $385,000. A new website that launched earlier this week has generated hundreds of tips. Cape Cod Beach remains closed tonight after a 61-year-old man was bitten by a shark. The victim told authorities he was standing in the water about 30 yards offshore when it happened. There hasn't been a shark attack in that area since 2012. The man never lost consciousness and was airlifted to a hospital in Boston after 2 nurses discovered him on the beach.
Now at 5:30, the fight intensifying tonight against those 3D printed guns. One father now joining the battle with lawmakers after losing his daughter in the Parkland shooting. CBS 12's Rosie Woods in Sunrise tonight with a father's passionate plea for change.
We're here at the Sunrise Police Department where Parkland parent Fred Guttenberg, he just finished speaking, and once again his message is very simple, it's very clear. He wants gun safety and he wants it now.
I sent my children to school on Valentine's Day. My son Jesse came home. My daughter Jamie was murdered at school.
A father who knows the pain of gun violence all too well is demanding action. Fred Guttenberg lost his daughter Jamie in the Parkland school shooting. Today he joined lawmakers to fight against 3D printed guns.
This is all I think about now.
Broward County Libraries took their 3D printers out of circulation last week to come up with policies about what the printers can be used for. But Congressman Ted Deutsch says this isn't enough.
It doesn't matter what steps we take to secure our schools and our airports if people can sneak plastic guns past checkpoints.
Last month, the U.S. State Department settled a case with Defense Distributed, allowing the online publication of blueprints to make 3D printed guns. But a federal judge issued a last-minute nationwide injunction stopping the company from publishing them. But Guttenberg says this is only the beginning of this battle.
Anybody who tells you this isn't a big deal, they have an agenda, okay? And it is a big deal, and we need to stop this.
If that nationwide restraining order is lifted later this month, that means that everyone and anyone could start printing these undetectable, untraceable plastic guns from their homes. But for now, in Sunrise, Rosie Wood, CBS 12 News.
We're following breaking news out of Riviera Beach, where there are reports of a shooting. We do have a news crew heading to the scene. Plus, are you dating out of your league? Why dating apps are giving you the confidence to do that. Still ahead.
And sidewalk sanctuaries, the dog huts coming to downtown West Palm Beach.
Legends Radio, proud partner of the CBS 12 News Network, the one to turn to.
Trending now, a rural Oklahoma school reopened today after a transgender student was threatened on Facebook over using the girls' bathroom. No arrests have been made. The school has since made arrangements for that student to use a staff bathroom. A high-dollar heist outside Atlanta, Georgia. Cops there on the hunt for a thief with a hankering for soup, stealing nearly $100,000 worth of ramen noodles from a parked trailer. And a new study shows online daters look for people who are slightly out of their league. Researchers with journal Science Advancers found people felt bolder when using online apps because rejection hurts less when it's not in person. For more trending stories, head over to the CBS 12 Facebook page. All right, breaking news right now out of Riviera Beach. The search is on for a gunman who shot and killed one man and left another injured in Stony Plaza. You're looking at live pictures right now from the scene at this strip mall. It's on Martin Luther King Boulevard. The victim, who is alive, has been taken to the hospital with possible life-threatening injuries. We'll bring you more information as soon as it becomes available.
Well, it's no deal for Delray. The Community Redevelopment Agency shot down the deal to sell a $15 million property. It's along West Atlantic from Southwest 6th to 9th Avenue. The price just $2 million. Now, the Palm Beach Post reporting the rejection of the project means land development would be delayed for at least 2 years. All right, take a look at this. Yes, running errands with your dog has never been easier. A startup company is bringing air-conditioned dog houses to the streets of West Palm Beach. And another airline is shortening the leash on passengers who push the pet limits. Starting this September, Southwest Airlines will only allow one emotional support animal per passenger, which must be a dog or a cat.
Algae in the water, danger in the air. The testing underway right now on people who live and work on the Treasure Coast.
And right now, the dry air is with us, but right behind the dry air is a push of moisture for the weekend. Will it be a washout? I'll answer that question coming up.
Plus, the president revokes ex-CIA Director John Brennan's security clearance. What the possible fallout could be on national security. President Trump has revoked the security clearance of Obama-era CIA Director John Brennan. The president pointed to Brennan's criticism of his administration, calling his remarks, quote, unfounded and outrageous. Brennan is vowing to continue to speak out. The president says he's also reviewing security clearances for 9 other people who have been critical of him or are linked to the Mueller investigation into Russian election interference.
Now, all the U.S. intelligence community can do is wait. Our national correspondent Michelle Macaluso tells us who could be next and how lawmakers are reacting.
These 9 on the verge of losing their security clearances after President Trump stripped away former CIA Director John Brennan's. Most on the list have been publicly critical of President Trump, and some have links to special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation. Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina thinks some had it coming.
I would think that
Strzok, Page, and Orr would be prime candidates along with Comey.
Senator Graham adds Brennan's attacks on Trump were way out of line, and the former CIA chief should have behaved more like his predecessor.
Leon Panetta has been a critic of the president, but he's handled himself in a way not to overly politicize his former job.
Democrats believe the president's efforts set a dangerous precedent.
It suggests that the president can or may offer or withhold security clearances based on politics rather than professionalism and advancing the national interest.
Former national security officials often keep their security clearances so they can advise future administrations.
You do want to have a group of people who continue to have knowledge about what's happening, and it just speaks to, again, an erosion of people in our country here having knowledge that at some point in time could greatly benefit Americans.
Without that institutional knowledge, some lawmakers worry that it could be a loss to the intelligence community. The White House has not said yet when the reviews for the 9 officials will be completed. On Capitol Hill, I'm Michelle Macaluso.
350 newspapers featured editorials today denouncing President Trump's description of the press as the enemy of the people. The campaign was part of an effort proposed by the Boston Globe earlier this month. Its purpose was to move the conversation about attacks on the press out of Washington and New York and into communities across the country. Each paper wrote its own editorial. Meanwhile, a new Quinnipiac poll shows 65% of Americans regard the media as an important part of democracy, not an enemy.
All right, everybody, so I wanted to start by talking about our next weather maker, and that's dry air. It's with us now. It'll be with us for at least the next 24 plus hours. However, high pressure is right here to the east of the Bahamas, and the clockwise wind flow around it is going to bring all this moisture you see right there in for the weekend. That means a better chance of clouds, showers, and thunderstorms by Saturday and Sunday. But looking at the radar right now, it is pretty quiet. Now there's a couple of showers getting ready to try to move towards Boca Raton and Delray Beach. Most of these showers have withered away before they actually get to the coast, but it is possible those showers right there may get to the beach before they start to die out. So watch out down there. Otherwise, it's a mainly dry and mostly clear night tonight, and that will probably stay around through tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a day with very little in the way of rain chances, 10 or 20% or so with a lot of sun. So your Friday's looking fine. But on Saturday, here comes that tropical moisture kind of moving our way. More clouds, a better chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms. Not going to be rainy all day, but you may get wet a couple of times during the day on Saturday. Rain chances running 50%. There's the dry air kind of passing by. Here comes the moist pocket moving in for Saturday. It's with us on Sunday, and rain chances on Sunday actually should go up to around 60%. So it could be a little stormier on Sunday, then drying out again as we head into Monday and Tuesday. Weekend breakdown Saturday and Sunday, a mix of sun and clouds. Passing showers Saturday, storms are likely as we head into Sunday. Average wind speed around 10, 11, 12 miles an hour, seas around 2 feet or so. So looking good if you're going to be doing some boating this weekend. Just an isolated shower, partly cloudy skies and 78 overnight tonight. And as we head into the weekend, we're looking pretty good, but a better chance of storms Saturday and Sunday.
Jeff, thank you. Brothels busted, the accusations of sex trafficking, the arrest, and how deputies were tipped off.
It looks legit, but a lucrative ad spreading on social media could cost you big. Tonight, the warning signs and how to avoid this scam. A worker was tragically killed after falling into a vat of oil near Walt Disney World. Authorities say the 61-year-old man slipped and fell into the oil while emptying oil and grease from a tractor trailer. Witnesses say they were unable to pull the man from the grease, and he was overwhelmed by the fumes. A spokesperson for the energy company says OSHA has been made aware of this incident. Caught on camera, a man buried up to his waist in mud was rescued in Illinois, and his pet parrot never once left his side. The man became stuck after wading into a dredged lake to retrieve the bird. Belleville Fire Department officials used special rescue techniques to remedy the sticky situation. The rescue operation took about 15 minutes, and all the while, that parrot remained perched on his owner's shoulder.
Smart parrot you got there, huh? All right, breaking news we're following right now, a deadly shooting in Riviera Beach. A live report just minutes away.
Then the Vatican breaks its silence on the report detailing so-called predator priests. Tonight, why the Diocese of Palm Beach told us they never received any red flags about a Boca Raton priest named in that report.
Algae alert, the push for action now in the nation's capital and the testing underway to determine the health risks on humans.
And drier air moving right in. We have it on top of us now, and there's more to come. However, it's not going to last forever. Lots of moisture right here is heading our way for the weekend. Is it going to be a washout? I'll answer that question coming up.
Breaking news as we come on the air. Secret neighborhood brothels busted. Hundreds of men going in and out of homes for sex in a local neighborhood. The disturbing evidence discovered and the tip that sparked the 10-month investigation.
Algae crisis, the smell and the sight. People can barely stand it. Tonight, the testing underway and health problems already being reported.
And trouble on your Facebook feed. The click and bait ad aimed at stealing your hard-earned cash and how one great-grandmother learned the hard way.
CBS 12 News starts now with breaking news.
Police are investigating a deadly shooting in a strip mall near Stony Brook Apartments in Riviera Beach.
And tonight, police are telling us that 2 men were shot near several stores. One person right now is dead. CBS 12's Lily Ortiz live near the crime scene. Lily, what have you learned in these last few minutes?
Well, Paul, Liz, it still remains a very active scene. About 2 hours after that shooting that left that one man dead, another injured, and now police are looking for the suspected gunman. Let's step aside here so you can see Riviera Beach police. They taped off that small shopping plaza right along Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. It looks like police are trying to narrow down the details, just focusing specifically on that small shopping plaza, talking to witnesses and possibly gathering evidence right now. Again, one man dead, another in the hospital with possible life-threatening injuries, and police still looking for that male suspect who took off right before police arrived. Now, again, they're asking for your help tonight, asking for those who were here about 4 o'clock for any information to contact Palm Beach County Crime Stoppers. And of course, we'll release new information as we get them, and we'll update you on air and online. Reporting live tonight in Riviera Beach, Lily Ortiz, CBS 12 News.
Police bust the leader of a local prostitution ring after an extensive 10-month-long investigation. Police say he forced women to come to Florida from other countries and work as prostitutes. And if they didn't come, one victim told police he would threaten to kill their family.
CBS 12, Maxine Bensel live tonight in West Palm Beach at a home police say was actually one of those brothels. Maxine?
Well, Paul, there were multiple homes involved in this prostitution ring, including this one right here along Miller Avenue in West Palm Beach, and multiple men, too. 3 of them arrested in May, and the leader of the group, Domingo Diaz, just arrested this week. Police arrested Domingo Diaz this week, accused him of being the ringleader of a multiple house prostitution ring involving dozens of Johns.
I just knew that something was definitely going on, but I didn't know what.
A neighbor who didn't want to be identified lived near one of the brothels allegedly run by Diaz on Miller Avenue. They told us they always noticed a lot of cars coming and going.
I definitely just wanted to stay out of it because I knew that it wasn't normal family or friends visiting.
According to police, their investigation started last October after a victim called them from the Dominican Republic with information. She told them women from different countries were brought to the United States to be prostitutes. She said a man would threaten to kill their family if they didn't come. After extensive surveillance at multiple homes, including the one on Miller Avenue and one on Belvedere Road, police observed around 175 potential Johns entering the homes and leaving after 20 minutes. Outside the homes, police found trash bags filled with nearly 200 used condoms. Police say arresting Diaz was vital in ending the prostitution ring.
I think it's extremely important when you arrest someone for basically modern day slavery is what this is. I think it's a significant impact on our community and the lives of these women.
Now, according to the police report, one of the victims was just 16 years old, and police say more arrests could be coming, but Diaz remains in the Palm Beach County Jail tonight. Reporting live in West Palm Beach, Maxine Bensel, CBS 12 News.
Right now, a man is dead after authorities say he was stabbed after fighting with a woman in their home in West Palm Beach, happening right in the middle of the day. The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office telling us investigators are talking to the woman about her possible role in the stabbing. Neighbors say the two had recently moved into that complex. Now to the Catholic Church sex abuse scandal. Tonight, the Vatican responding, condemning the sex abuse described in the Pennsylvania grand jury report, saying Pope Francis is on the victim's side. The reports say more than 300 priests sexually abused more than 1,000 children, and likely thousands more, it says, over 7 decades. One of those men named in the reports is Thomas Benestad, who offered to assist at a church in Boca Raton.
And according to a statement just released by the Diocese of Palm Beach, there was no objection from church leaders in Pennsylvania when Thomas Benestad relocated to South Florida. CBS 12's Michael Butchner is live in Palm Beach Gardens investigating what church officials here were told. Michael?
Yeah, the diocese releasing a statement today, Liz, to CBS 12 News, telling us that they did their homework. They vetted this man. In fact, they say they even reached out to officials in Pennsylvania.
Thomas Benestad, seen here in a church website, relocated from the diocese in Allentown, Pennsylvania to South Florida, while reportedly on a medical leave of absence. That's according to new information released today by the Diocese of Palm Beach to CBS 12 News. In a prepared statement, they claim the diocese in Pennsylvania advised that Benestad was a priest in good standing and that there were no impediments to his ministry after he inquired about assisting at Ascension Catholic Church in Boca Raton. Even the bishop in Pennsylvania at the time had no objections to his ministry here in South Florida, the statement claims. The grand jury report shows Benestad assigned to the church in 2007, 3 months after he left Pennsylvania for South Florida. For the second day, we went back to Benestad's Boca Raton address to speak with him. But again, no one answered the door. The Palm Beach Diocese claims the diocese in Pennsylvania not once but twice sent a certificate of aptitude for Benestad, indicating several things, including that he had never been suspended or disciplined, never had criminal charges brought against him, and never showed behavioral problems that would indicate he might deal with minors or adults in an inappropriate manner. In 2011, when allegations of sexual abuse surfaced, the Palm Beach Diocese says Benestad was immediately ordered by both dioceses to refrain from all public ministry, including wearing a clerical collar, and reminded again in 2014. The diocese says Benestad has not functioned as a priest in any parish in the Diocese of Palm Beach since 2011. And back out live, we can say within the last few minutes, church officials in Pennsylvania say they have attempted to lay aside Benestad, but a Vatican office, they said, found there was not enough evidence. They say they will renew this request. Meanwhile, the diocese here of Palm Beach says it relies on a lay review board to review allegations of abuse. They say included on that board, law enforcement, lay people, and attorneys. For now, we're live in Palm Beach Gardens. Michael Butchner, CBS 12 News.
We have the full 900-page report on our website. If you would like to view it, just head to cbs12.com.
New details tonight on a man accused of following a boy in a white van in Port St. Lucie. Police today saying that man has come forward. They're now calling it a, quote, misunderstanding. Police originally said the man tried to lure the boy into his van on Tuesday. That's what the boy said. But say after a thorough investigation, that was not the case.
All right, everybody, so it's the middle of August, and we would expect to see an uptick in activity in the tropics, and we're seeing exactly that, just a little bit. Nothing too bad right now. We are watching this tropical wave down here to the east of the Leeward Islands. Disorganized shower and thunderstorm activity. There's only a 20% chance of development, but it is moving into the Caribbean, so this is something we will have to keep you updated on. We also have Ernesto. Ernesto is a subtropical system, but it's moving away from the United States. Winds right now 45 miles an hour. It could increase speed a little bit, and it's headed towards Ireland and Scotland. It'll make for a stormy weekend as we head into Saturday and Sunday. The system to the south, notice the computer models. Spaghetti models kind of end the life of this storm in the eastern Caribbean, which means it's probably not going to become a very strong system if it even does form into a depression or tropical storm. We're going to talk about our local forecast when I come back in just a few minutes.
Jeff, thank you. We turn now to the algae emergency. Today, Senator Bill Nelson and Marco Rubio both urging the Senate to take up and pass legislation to help fight the massive environmental and economic crisis now plaguing South Florida's waterways. People on the Treasure Coast have been dealing with the algae for weeks, and many right now are really concerned for their health.
New tonight, one local organization decided to take matters into their own hands and find out. CBS 12 Treasure Coast reporter Aaron McPherson spoke with scientists from FAU's Harbor Branch Oceanographic Institute who were testing people today. Aaron?
Well, we weren't allowed to talk with the people participating in the test and in the study, but they did tell us it shouldn't have had to come to this. A blood test to look for microcystin, the toxin found in blue-green algae.
Under an unknown, a harmful unknown.
Blair Wickstrom is the publisher of Florida Sportsman. The magazine's office has been on the water in Stuart for 20 years, dealing with the algae. This year, they even had to close temporarily because the smell was so bad. That's why they let scientists test community members in their building today.
Given the opportunity, I jumped on it because if we're not testing and we're not bringing to light the potential harm in living and working near the water, then it'll continue.
They didn't just test for blood. They took a nasal swab and a urine sample.
Part of this is understanding what tissues can give us the best biomarker for toxin exposure.
Adam Schaefer is an epidemiologist with Harbor Branch. He's been there for 10 years and now is leading this study.
It's really the most important endpoint in terms of understanding public health risk.
He says right now there's just so much unknown about how these toxins move through our bodies. He's hoping these samples and information from questionnaires will give them the information they need. And Wickstrom hopes so too.
If we don't, when we're given the chance to try to find out how harmful these algae blooms are, then we really are sort of just rolling the dice.
The study is expected to last a few months, but the scientists say they want to do this right, so it could be longer. Reporting live, Aaron McPherson, CBS 12 News.
All this while on the state's west coast, the red tide has made breathing difficult for a whole lot of people living there. And instead of tourists, popular beaches now packed with dead fish and turtles. Look at this. Respiratory problems being reported in at least 25 places. Wildlife officials, meantime, believe the water will move north and closer to shore over the next 3 days. On Monday, you might remember Governor Rick Scott declared a state of emergency in 7 Florida counties.
Right now, the world is mourning the passing of the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. On the Hollywood Walk of Fame, fans left flowers at Aretha's star, a tribute to a superstar whose voice will live forever. On Twitter, the tributes poured in from fans to fellow legends, including Carole King, Diana Ross, and Elton John, who wrote, "The loss of Aretha Franklin is a blow for everybody who loves real music." President Donald Trump sending his condolences on Twitter, saying she was a great woman with a wonderful gift from God, her voice. She will be missed. Franklin died of pancreatic cancer. According to WebMD, the type of tumor Franklin had is rare. It's found in about 6% of pancreatic cancer cases and tends to grow slowly. It may not cause any symptoms until it is advanced. And Franklin had strong roots here in South Florida. She recorded several of her hits at Criteria Studios in North Miami. The CBS Evening News will have much more on the death of Aretha Franklin beginning at 6:30. Social media scam, an alarming ad popping up on your Facebook feed.
Tonight, the victim's word of warning for everyone and the red flags they say to watch out for.
And we have a couple of showers on the radar headed towards Boca Raton and Delray Beach. Looks like it's going to be dry tomorrow, but big changes for the weekend. We'll talk about them coming up.
If teachers have a past military experience or past police experience, and if they choose to be armed,
Mike check Al Peffley,
then
1, 2, 3, 4,
If
5, 6,
not,
7, 8, 9,
then
10.
No, I've actually got schoolmarshals.net. I put that in place well before this even happened, because even 2 years ago, I went to my sheriff up in Martin County, and I said, you know, the schools are a soft target. We need to make sure that they're protected. We have the whole idea of that single point of entry, having and also having metal detectors and having veterans stand guard at every school. That is the way every school will be in the state of Florida for me as governor. We need to have the background checks, absolutely. I think background checks are good. I do not think we need gun registration. I don't think that's necessary at all. It's the criminals that can get the guns anyway, no matter what happens. And that's always going to be the problem. So we have to, you know, we have to just stick with our Second Amendment rights. Those are those were written for a reason, and I'm fully on board with the Second Amendment.
She is a great-grandmother, the pillar of her family, and tonight she has a warning for your family after nearly losing thousands of dollars.
CBS 12's Al Peffley live in Palm Beach County with that warning as well as her words of warning. Al?
The woman you're about to meet, 85 years young, almost got taken to the cleaners just for trying to do something many of us do regularly, using a credit card to purchase something online.
When I saw the chair at that price, I say, oh my God.
Maria Pinedo says she was shocked when she saw an ad on Facebook for an electric massage chair at a super low price. It seemed like a terrific deal. So Maria clicked on the ad, and her son says she was directed to a website where she put in her name and credit card number and the security code on the back of the card. And as far as she knew, she had bought the chair. But the next morning, she got a call from Citibank saying someone in London tried to buy $7,000 worth of jewelry with her credit card.
Not everything is what it looks like.
Her son, Carlos Pinedo, tries to look out for his mother, Maria.
I said, we have to call the news and see if they will help us get the word out that these people are taking advantage of senior citizens.
Citibank did not approve the purchase, and Maria did not lose any money. The Better Business Bureau says Maria's experience should be a warning to everyone.
Unfortunately, this kind of situation is not unusual at all.
They say check out the company first. The BBB can tell you if they have a history of complaints and how long their website has been in existence.
Be cautious about something that sounds like a substantial savings, and do your homework because it's worth the time.
For Maria, the whole experience taught her a new lesson, even at the age of 85.
I'll be careful with everything at the internet.
We reached out to Facebook for their response to this, and we sent them a photo of the ad. They told us they were looking into it. The BBB says they always encourage people to use credit cards for online purchases because they say they monitor suspicious activity and you can get your money back easier if there's a problem. Live in West Palm Beach, Al Peffley, CBS 12 News.
The primary election is just weeks away, and CBS 12 News wants you to know your candidates when you go to the polls. And today is Republican gubernatorial candidate Bob White, who is a longtime physical therapist who has never held political office. Now, we wanted to know his thoughts on arming teachers and other school employees who aren't law enforcement. We also asked him what he thought of the state's gun laws and if they needed to be changed.
If teachers have a past military experience or past police experience, and if they choose to be armed, then yes. If not, then no. I've actually got schoolmarshals.net. I put that in place well before this even happened because even 2 years ago I went to my sheriff up in Martin County and I said, the schools are a soft target. We need to make sure that they're protected. We have the whole idea of that single point of entry, having and also having metal detectors and having veterans stand guard at every school. That is the way every school will be in the state of Florida for me as governor. We need to have the background checks, absolutely. I think background checks are good. I do not think we need gun registration. I don't think that's necessary at all. It's the criminals that can get the guns anyway, no matter what happens. And that's always going to be the problem. So we have to, just stick with our Second Amendment rights. Those were written for a reason, and I'm fully on board with the Second Amendment.
We should make a correction there. That is Republican candidate Bruce Nathan running for governor. Now, to watch the full interview, head over to our website, cbs12.com, and under the News tab, click Know Your Candidates. And there you can find information on several state and federal races.
All right, Jeff, well, you are tracking some changes in our forecast coming up for the weekend.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's when the moisture is going to move in. But the fortunate thing is, even if it is stormy, it's only stormy for, a couple times a day for maybe 15, 20, 30 minutes or so. So what we're looking at right now is the state of Florida. Not much near us at all. Lots of dry air, as you can see. But to the east of us, there is some moisture. You have to go way east, though. So we have another day of dry air. That's the dry air for tomorrow. And here's the moisture it's going to get here on Saturday and Sunday. Looking outside right now, we're looking towards the west across West Palm Beach, and there are just a couple of what we call fractocumulus clouds, so just fractions of of cumulus clouds out there. But it's nice and dry in most areas. And because of that, because of all that sun, sweltering. Feels like 104 in Acreage. Feels like 100 right now in Boca Raton. Feels like 100 on the nose in Fort Pierce. So for the most part, it's dry out there. Every once in a while, a shower develops over the Gulf Stream, tries to make it on shore. This one's trying, and if it holds together, and it doesn't look like it's gonna, but if it holds together, it will be at the beach in Delray Beach in 25 minutes. Expect maybe a quick passing shower there. Otherwise, tonight, mostly clear skies in your hour-by-hour forecast. Tomorrow morning, there may be a stray morning shower, but notice tomorrow, the majority of the time, it's just dry. So beautiful Friday if you have the day off tomorrow. Lucky you. It'll be nice at the beach, nice for boaters. Winds, about 10, 15 miles an hour. Seas about 2, maybe occasionally 3 feet out in the Gulf Stream. As we head into Saturday, everything begins to change. That pocket of moisture moves right on top of us, so clouds will be on the increase. And as early as the morning, there could be some morning showers. Showers and thunderstorms scattered, not everywhere. It's not going to be a stormy day, but it will be stormy at times here or there. There's a dry year for tomorrow. Here's the moisture for Saturday. It's going to be right on top of us, or at least getting here. It'll be right on top of us on Sunday, so rain chances up to about 60% on Sunday. If there's a better weekend day, it'll probably be Saturday, but both days rain chances slightly above normal. That dry air moves back in as we head into Monday. Weekend breakdown Saturday and Sunday. More clouds Saturday, passing showers. Sunday, clouds and storms likely, so that's probably the stormier day. Average wind speed looking pretty good, generally 10, maybe occasionally 15 miles an hour. Your seas 2 feet, occasionally maybe 3 feet as we head into the weekend. That is subtropical storm Ernesto. That is headed towards Scotland and Ireland as we head through the weekend. And then there's this area of disturbed weather here to the east of the Lesser Antilles. Very disorganized. Thunderstorms are all over the place, but not organized around the center. Only a 20% chance that will develop. Isolated shower tonight, otherwise partly cloudy. It'll be warm. It'll be muggy. Temperatures around 78. And tomorrow, mostly sunny, a stray shower, maybe an inland storm, but rain chances very low, 92. 7-day forecast now with the weekend is always in view. Rain chances 50% on and off, not the whole day Saturday. Same thing on Sunday, rain chances 60%, drying back out as we head towards Tuesday.
Coming up tonight, all new at 11, asbestos emergency. Fire hydrants in one local neighborhood not in service. The concerns tonight over asbestos pipes and what happens if there's a fire nearby.
CBS 12 News outerwear is provided by Under Armour. Now, the South Florida Honda Sports Report.
Just moments ago, Major League Baseball announced a suspension after last night's melee between the Braves and the Marlins. Miami pitcher Jose Urena hit rookie slugger Ronald Acuna in the left elbow with his first pitch, a 97-mile-per-hour fastball that obviously left Acuna in pain. The benches and bullpens for both teams emptied twice. Urena was ejected, and just moments ago, MLB suspended him for 6 games. Acuna left in the second inning, but the Braves said X-rays were negative. Atlanta won to complete a 4-game sweep.
Miami Dolphins fans are hoping their new look team is deep with talent this season, and tomorrow's preseason game on CBS 12 may go a long way in displaying that with their 2 top wide receivers sidelined. That's right. Enter Albert Wilson. The second-team wide receiver should see lots of action tomorrow night in California with Devontae Parker out with a broken finger and Kenny Stills still suffering from that ankle injury. Wilson, of course, is a Port St. Lucie native and signed a 3-year $24 million contract in the offseason after playing in Kansas City his entire career, at least so far. Wilson is one of many new weapons for QB Ryan Tannehill, so getting to know them better during the preseason is key.
We have had throwing sessions in the summer. I was working with those guys out here, been trying to work them in. But it is an adjustment having different guys out there, different bodies, different body types.
We talk daily about, how can I get better and what could I do to help improve this offense, man. And for him to be so vocal and just know what he wants out of me, man, I couldn't ask for a better leader.
Now you can watch every play of tomorrow night's preseason game against the Carolina Panthers right here on CBS 12. The game starts at 7:30. John Evanson will have pregame and postgame reports on CBS 12 Sports. There you have it.
Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll be back for CBS 12 News at 11.
And remember, the news is always on at CBS12.com. The CBS Evening News is next. Tonight, the intense effort to track him down.
We don't want to lose a child because of a non-working fire hydrant.
Frightening find why life-saving fire hydrants just steps from homes are out of service. And it looks legit, but a lucrative ad spreading on social media could cost you big time. Tonight, the warning signs and how to avoid the scam.
CBS 12 News starts now with breaking news.
And they're breaking news right now. The search is on for a suspected serial arsonist who allegedly torched thousands of dollars worth of RVs at a business in Riviera Beach. Look at the video right there. Tonight, we're learning this isn't the first time the man with ties to our area has started fires before. CBS 12's Lily Ortiz joining us live in Riviera Beach tonight with new details on the arsonist state investigators are now looking for. Lily, good evening.
Paul, take a look at this poster over here, the wanted poster. Investigators say they are looking for Benjamin Harris. They say he's responsible for destroying multiple RVs still parked outside of Bill Waits' business.
This is a guy that police called the suspect that torched several RVs at our dealership on Sunday.
Inside Bill Waits' home, we take a closer look at this surveillance video taken last weekend, the night of the arson. It shows who Waits and state investigators say is suspect Benjamin Harris getting out of a car and holding something in his hand. Waits immediately noticed what he was wearing.
On the back of his t-shirt, I said, oh my God. I was telling my son, I said, it's a Palm Beach RV t-shirt. What in the world? I mean, we were shocked.
Palm Beach RV near West Palm Beach happens to be the business of Bill Waits' older brother, and Waits says Harris is an employee there. He says Harris disappeared a few days after the fire. He called his brother Larry, but has not heard back. Harris is a convicted arsonist and has served serious time in prison. He was convicted in 2005 for a chain of arson-related fires in St. Lucie County and one in West Palm Beach. The 54-year-old was sentenced to 8 years in federal prison.
Why would they hire an arson? If they dug a little deeper, he'd burn an RV place in Fort Pierce.
Right now, there is an active warrant for Harris's arrest for 10 counts of second-degree arson in connection to last weekend's fire, which cost about $350,000 in damage.
I really like to know why. You know, I really don't have a clue. I've never seen the guy. I've never met him in my life.
Now, we tried, but Larry with Palm Beach RV could not be reached for comment tonight. Again, anyone with information, they're urged to call 911. Reporting live tonight in Riviera Beach, Lily Ortiz, CBS 12 News on the CW34.
All right, Lily, thank you. And we also learned tonight that in 2007, a judge sentenced Harris to more than 11 years in federal prison for setting 26 fires in 2 counties happening in upstate New York. All right, new at 10 tonight, fired up over broken fire hydrants. Tonight, a retired firefighter is sounding the alarm, saying several hydrants near his home are not working. That's something he says needs to be done before it's too late. CBS 12's Vincent Crivelli joining us live near Lake Worth tonight with why this problem isn't an easy fix. Vince.
Retired firefighter Steve Carr says it's simple. Fire hydrants are there to save your life and protect your property. But now when he walks outside his home, he sees this bag in the community with several others. And now he fears for his family's safety.
Not
It's disturbing.
in
Horrendous.
service.
It's a nightmare.
At least 4 fire hydrants in one neighborhood covered in bags.
I have seen fatalities in fires before.
Retired Lake Worth firefighter Steve Carr calls Lake Osborne Estates home.
We are unprotected.
Carr says he's concerned because the fire hydrant by his home hasn't worked in at least 2 years. The closest working one, hundreds of feet away.
Trying to get a relay set up so they can pump from the nearest working hydrant. This house is going to be gone by the time they get the water flowing.
A city spokesman tells us there are about 20 working fire hydrants in this neighborhood, and workers found the broken ones during a recent routine flushing. The city did not say how long they've been out of service, but says they'll be replaced in the coming weeks.
A fire hydrant with no water in it leaves a lot of parents around here worried.
The average cost to replace a fire hydrant is about $5,000. The city sets aside $50,000 every year to replace hydrants. However, Carr says the more time it takes to fix, the more lives at risk.
I don't want to lose a house, but even more, I don't want to lose a child because of a non-working fire hydrant.
And another problem here, the city of Lake Worth recently discovered these broken fire hydrants are connected to asbestos piping. The city says it's in the process of replacing that piping, but could not provide me with a timeline. For now, reporting live in Lake Worth, Vincent Crivelli, CBS 12 News on the CW 34.
All right, weather-wise, we are pretty quiet on this Thursday evening. All of the earlier storms have pushed inland. The West Coast saw a lot of activity this evening and a few little streamer showers out in the Atlantic, so we can't rule out the possibility of a stray shower overnight. But you can see on the water vapor loop, this is our next weather maker. Drier air working into place for Friday, which means our rain chances will be limited with a lot of sunshine too. So we're tracking that drier air, but look further to the east, and there you can see moist air that will be moving in for the weekend. Friday morning, wake up temps already mid-70s inland, upper 70s to near 80 at the coast, and by the lunch hour, temperatures in the upper 80s. Now, coming up in just a few minutes, we'll have your weekend breakdown, and we'll have a tropical update. We're watching two systems in the tropics. Paul?
All right, Kate, a breaking news update right now coming to us out of Riviera Beach. The search for a gunman intensifying tonight. Here's the scene late this afternoon. Police say a guy shot and killed a man and left another man injured in a strip mall here on Martin Luther King Boulevard. The victim who survived is in the hospital tonight with possible life-threatening injuries. Right now, another local man is dead after authorities say he was stabbed after fighting with a woman in their home in West Palm Beach. Happening in the middle of the day today. The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office telling us investigators are speaking with the woman about her possible role in the stabbing. Neighbors say the man and woman had just recently moved into that complex. Tonight, brothel bust. The man police believe is the alleged leader of a West Palm Beach prostitution ring is behind bars. Police say this guy right here, Domingo Diaz, forced women to come to Florida from other countries and work as prostitutes. And if they didn't come, police say, one victim says he would threaten to kill their family. Now, police conducting several surveillance operations at 4 homes, all within a few miles of each other. In all, police arresting 4 men in connection with this prostitution ring. We turn now to the algae emergency, blue, green, and toxic. And today, one local organization took matters into their own hands to find out how the algae is affecting human health. Dozens of people got tested today by scientists with Harbor Branch. They took blood, nasal swabs, and urine samples, all to test for microstin, the toxin in blue-green algae. The samples taken at Florida Sportsman in Stewart, since many people in that area have symptoms of algae exposure.
Given the opportunity, I jumped on it because if we're not testing and we're not bringing to light the potential harm in living and working near the water, then it'll continue.
Scientists hoping this study will give them some much needed answers, but one thing is for sure, it certainly will take some time. On the state's west coast, look at this. The red tide has made breathing difficult for people living there. And instead of tourists, popular beaches now packed with dead fish and turtles. Respiratory problems are being reported in at least 25 places. Wildlife officials believe the water will move north and closer to shore during the next 3 days. You might recall this on Monday, Governor Rick Scott declaring a state of emergency in 7 Florida counties. Well, we all know the saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? But sometimes video is even better. Today, the Martin and St. Lucie sheriffs came together to announce their partnership with the home surveillance system Ring. It's part of their iWatch program, stressing video has helped solve so many cases and can even deter crime. Now, we talk with one Stewart mother who has Ring, and she says she loves it.
It's very, very comforting, and it's good to know that it records everything so that if we do have an incident, we have the video that we can show to the police or whomever to say, this is who you need to look for.
That mother went on to say the peace of mind is worth every penny. Ring even has its own neighbor app that sends you an alert from neighbors and deputies, and you don't have to have one of their cameras to actually have that app. From her star in Hollywood to the Apollo Theater in New York City, tributes pouring in today for the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, as the world learns of her death this morning. Her career spanned 5 decades with more than 100 songs hitting the Billboard charts and 17 top 10 hits. Franklin, battling advanced pancreatic cancer. Aretha Franklin, dead tonight at the age of 76. Now, according to WebMD, the type of tumor Franklin had is very rare. It's found in about 6% of pancreatic cancer cases and tends to grow very slowly. Unfortunately, sometimes symptoms may not show up until the case is advanced. Social media scam, an alarming ad popping up on your Facebook feed tonight. The victim's word of warning for everyone and the red flags to watch out for. Hey, Kate.
Hey, Paul, we are tracking the tropics on this Thursday evening. We have two systems we're watching. Will either one of them pose a threat to South Florida? I'll have the answer coming up after the break.
All right, Kate, then getting your money back, how you can get a refund if you were charged overdraft fees during the SunPass maintenance mess. But first, a story from our news partners at Circa.
The number of drug overdose deaths in the United States hit a record high in 2017, according to provisional numbers provided by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. That's about a 10% increase from 2016.
Well, when you really get through all the data, what you find is that the fentanyl, or the synthetic opioids, which are hundreds and sometimes thousands of times more powerful than morphine, is really the reason for these spikes in overdose deaths.
The data provides the first look into the epidemic since the Trump administration intervened. In 2017, President Trump declared the ongoing drug crisis a public health emergency, and soon after, the Department of Health and Human Services said it would administer hundreds of millions of dollars in grant money to all 50 states. And estimates suggest that some states are doing better than others. Some states in New England, hit hardest by the epidemic, like Rhode Island and Massachusetts, are actually seeing fewer overdoses.
The government money is helping, and now I think we're really going to see an impact because it's starting to finally get into the infrastructure of the epidemic.
More and more Americans are overdosing on powerful synthetic opioids like fentanyl, as opposed to heroin, cocaine, and other prescription pills.
I am concerned about, west of the Mississippi, that we may see an uptick in these overdose deaths as the black tar heroin starts to contain more and more fentanyl. This fentanyl is so deadly.
For Circa in Washington, I'm Julia Bacano.
Way FM, proud partner of the CBS 12 News Network, the one to turn to.
Welcome back. A great grandmother wants to warn others tonight after she almost lost thousands of dollars online. The woman telling us she saw an ad on Facebook for an electric massage chair for a rock bottom price. Now, she clicked on it and put in her name and then her credit card number. Instead of getting the chair, yes, she got a call from her bank saying someone in London at a high-end jewelry store was trying to make a $7,000 purchase with her card. Fortunately, that purchase was not approved and the woman did not lose any money.
I was upset that somebody's trying to take advantage of my mom.
The Better Business Bureau says before buying anything online, do your homework and check out the company first. They can also tell you if the company has a history of complaints. New at 10 tonight, important news for anyone with life-threatening allergies. The Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, has approved the first generic version of the EpiPen to Teva Pharmaceuticals USA. Now, the EpiPen is used to save kids and adults with dangerous allergic reactions. The company that sells the EpiPen drew intense criticism, you might remember this, a few years ago when it hiked the price to $600 for a package of 2. The FDA says the new product should help lower the cost. An update now on the SunPass maintenance mess that lasted for months. Starting today, SunPass customers may submit requests for overdraft fee reimbursements online at sunpass.com. So how do you qualify? Well, you must submit bank records that show the overdraft fees happening sometime between June 11th and August 17th. Customers can have a check mailed to them or their SunPass account credited. New York University medical students getting some life-changing news today. Free tuition for all, yes. The announcement made at the end of the annual white coat ceremony where new medical students are given white lab coats to mark the start of the program. The school hopes to ease the overwhelming debt from school loans and attract a more diverse class. Standing is the new sitting. In tonight's 10:15 Difference, Linda Figueredo explains why some employees are getting the option to stand during their workday.
Sitting for 8 hours a day can have an impact, and now one company is giving employees another option. It's tonight's 10:15 Difference.
We had the opportunity to take a look at our configurations, and we said, wouldn't it be great if we installed sit-stand workstations for everyone?
The company ESL is going floor by floor at its headquarters in New York, giving each employee one of these motorized sit-stand desks.
We are very conscious in general of having a conducive work environment. And sit-stand stations are just going to help us make it that much better for everyone.
Employee Patty Green notices a difference. Her entire workspace rises, computer, phone, even outlets.
Just having the computer up, that's not enough for every job. You actually need the workspace to move up with you, so this makes a big difference.
Studies show sitting too much can increase the risk of things like heart disease and diabetes. And recent findings from UCLA say it may impact parts of our brain critical to memory. At ESL, it's about the overall wellness of employees, and it doesn't hurt that it seems to be improving productivity.
Some have said they feel much more focused when they're standing versus sitting all day long.
8 hours is a long time to be seated.
Standing desks are becoming more of a trend, and many stores now offer them, and you can also purchase one online. With your 10:15 difference, I'm Linda Figueredo.
All right, your Storm Track forecast here now. Kate Wenzel is here, and Kate, for me at least, another hot day. Maybe not for you or some of you out there.
Oh no, it's hot. I went for a jog and it was pretty steamy.
It lasted 10 minutes because it was so hot?
Yeah, right? Well, I had to walk, take breaks, but tomorrow,
hydrated.
more of the same.
Oh,
so,
boy.
you know, we're going to round out the work week on a hot note, but rain chances fairly limited as we head into your Friday. Right now across West Palm Beach, we are quiet and it's still 83 degrees. You factor in the humidity and it feels like 90%. Yeah, so it's pretty hot out there still at this late hour. Now, the radar pretty much quiet except some storms we are tracking well offshore, but a few of these coastal streamers could push on shore overnight. So just less than a 10% chance of seeing those stray showers. Now, Thursday for the rest of the evening looking pretty good. Overnight, we'll see just a few little blips of moisture there on the Futurecast. As we head into Friday, 3 o'clock in the morning, maybe a little stray shower here or there, but virtually dry for your morning commute. Then in the afternoon, we'll start to see a little activity developing in the afternoon, but that will quickly push inland anything we do see develop, and really pretty nice throughout the afternoon. Now, high temperatures, once again, low 90s. Average high for this time of year is 90 degrees, so 91 Boca Raton, 91 degrees for the folks in Delray Beach, 91 Boynton Beach, Wellington, steamy at 93, Belle Glade at 93 degrees as well. Across the Treasure Coast, those temperatures there in the low 90s, 91 Palm Beach Gardens, 93 Jupiter Farms, and West Palm Beach, 92 degrees. The Treasure Coast, low 90s as well. Port St. Lucie, 93, Okeechobee, 93, Vero Beach, 92. We are tracking Tropical Storm Ernesto, but no worries. It's moving away from us. It's moving to the northeast at 18, and it's moving at 45. Well, actually, it has maximum sustained winds of 45 miles per hour, headed toward Ireland, but just as a weak low. So it might bring some rain and winds to the folks in Ireland. The other wave we're watching still has about a 20% chance of developing. It's located about 600 miles to the southeast of the Windward Islands. Now, ahead, conditions do not look favorable for in developing more, so we're not too concerned about that wave, but we'll keep an eye on it for you. Drier air working into the region as we head into a Friday, looking pretty good, but behind it, some moisture, and that's going to keep our rain chances increasing Saturday and Sunday. So the timing might not be perfect, but it won't be a washout either day. We'll just see about a 50% chance of showers and storms. All right, let's go ahead and take you to tomorrow. 92 degrees, mostly sunny, stray shower, inland storms, but overall about a 20% chance of seeing that rain. Average wind speeds will be pretty low over the next few days, generally less than 12 miles per hour. And for the boaters, we're going to see seas right around 2 feet with isolated morning showers. Here's your 7-day forecast for the weekend is always in view. 50% chance of storms Saturday, 60% for Sunday.
Look at that weekend, Kate. Okay, thank you so much. Coming up, the new deadly tick virus threatening America. Then a survivor's story from Mount St. Helens, how this missing man stayed alive for days. All that and more coming up next. New tonight, scientists are warning of a new tick that's causing a deadly fever in Mexico, and now it's heading towards the U.S. Researchers said the infection known as Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever is moving up towards the border. It's a bacterial infection that can lead to the amputation of limbs, hearing loss, paralysis, even death. The infection is usually spread by two similarly related ticks, but this time an unrelated species is to blame, one more likely to bite people. Turning to a consumer alert right now, a new app could boost your phone's battery life by 30%. That's right, 30%. The Android app called MultiDroid helps reduce the amount of energy consumed when people use Android's multi-window tool. And that, of course, allows users to run several apps all at the same time. It works by dialing down the brightness of non-critical applications, and that limits the amount of energy eaten up. Test drive trouble. A car plowing into a dealership, leaving major damage behind. You think? The mistake police say that driver made. We're learning more tonight about a man who managed to survive and, get this, all while lost near Mount St. Helens for nearly a week. 40-year-old Matthew Metheny was visiting from Ohio a week ago, but his friends had to work, so he decided to spend the day at Mount St. Helens. Sounds like a good idea. Well, after a few hours, he realized he was lost. He survived, he says, by eating berries, even bees. The man's parents say his skills as an Eagle Scout and as a nurse kept him alive until rescuers found him. Doctors say aside from being a little dehydrated, he's pretty much okay. And when it comes to fender benders behind the wheel, whoa, how many of you can relate to that? Well, look at what happened in southern China when a woman took a car out for a ride at a BMW dealership. She apparently meant to hit the brakes, but instead, as you see, hit the gas. The good news out of all this, no one seriously injured. Up next tonight, burgers, brats, hot dogs, fries, and more. There's a lot that goes into that pound burger. Do you have what it takes to eat it? The prize up for grabs. If you can finish it, that's next.
CBS 12 News outerwear is provided by Under Armour.
A runaway parent in London had some choice words, shall we say, for firefighters. After escaping and spending several days on the roof, fire officials climbed up and tried to coax the bird down. The name is Jessie, by the way. But that's when Jessie, fire officials say, began cursing at them. Yes, wonder where Jessie learned to curse. After the flying fowl let the foul language fly, she flew away and eventually flew home. Thanks to Jeremy, our producer, for writing that one. And what a gut buster. Look at that. The Arizona Cardinals offering the $75 Gridiron Burger Challenge at the University of Phoenix Stadium this season. Here's how it stacks up if you can't see it already. 5 burger patties, 5 all-beef hot dogs, 5 bratwurst, 20 slices of American cheese, 8 slices of bacon, 8 chicken fingers, 12 ounces of fries, lettuce, tomatoes, pickles, and sauce on a 10-inch bun. Fans who finish it in less than an hour get a Cardinals jersey and their picture on the scoreboard. I don't know about you, Kate, but I couldn't eat that myself.
I couldn't. I was thinking that'd be fun to get with like 6 friends sitting around picking at that one burger. I think that would work out pretty good.
Party.
Otherwise, Friday morning, we're looking at temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. Sunrise at 6:53, mostly sunny with nothing more than a random shower. And here's a look at your 7-day forecast. As we head into Saturday and Sunday, our rain chances do increase, but it won't be a washout. And then a little drier as we head into next work week, staying warm. High temperatures mainly in the low 90s, just a shade cooler Saturday and Sunday.
All right, Kate, thank you so much. And our chief political analyst, Boris Epstein, tonight now weighs in with his opinion.
In the Trump administration, the Environmental Protection Agency has 2 missions. 1, to get rid of unnecessary regulations. 2, to make sure that our environment is clean and safe. I spoke to acting administrator of the EPA, Andrew Wheeler, about how they balance those 2 priorities. Here's what he told me.
Some of our regulations have been on the books 30, 40 plus years. And what we need to make sure is that some of those regulations aren't actually causing a negative impact on the environment, because some of them sometimes inhibits people from installing cleaner technologies. So what we want to do is make sure we have a common sense approach to make sure that people can install the cleanest technologies possible. To make sure that the air and the water continue to get better. I would say it's more making sure that we're doing the right thing and the smart thing. When we look at a standard, when we look at cleaning up a Superfund site, for example, we're trying to get rid of the attorneys that have been slowing down the process and getting the sites cleaned up faster so we can get sites more in productive use for the American public.
Here's the bottom line. The Trump administration and the EPA specifically are working hard to thread the needle and make sure that they get rid of the unnecessary, stifling regulations while also ensuring that we live in a safe and clean environment. Share with me your bottom line. Send me an email at bottomline@sbgtv.com and let me know your thoughts on today's segment.
And thank you for spending 34 minutes of your evening with us here on the CW. Daily Mail TV is next, and be sure to join Liz Garantes and I coming up for CBS 12 News at 11. Until then, for these next 25 minutes, have a good night as we leave you with exclusive SkyTeam 12 drone video.